Hello and welcome to This Week in Softball, brought to you by AZ in the Circle. Hello, welcome to This Week in Softball. I am your host, Javier Zuluaga. We have a great show, 3 segments. First segment right off the bat are Players of the Week for NCAA's week number 7. Our second segment, we have an interview with graduate student Trinity Martin from GCU, who, by the way, she's a graduate student because she graduated from Virginia Tech in 3 years. So this is her 4th year playing, but she's actually a grad student already. So we have an interview with her. And then our last segment, our mentions, the state of softball in the 48th state with regards to ballers from the 48th state from and in Arizona is strong. And we have the receipts to prove it. So here we go. Right off the bat, we're starting with the Players of the Week, Week 7. Our freshman AZ in the Circle Player of the Week for the 3rd time in a row is GCU's Raegan Holtorf. Raegan helped her team. Most importantly, that's the most important stat, is did you get the wins? And the team did. They had a successful week. They started off with Oklahoma State on a Tuesday, and then with a sold-out crowd here, broke a record. And then they didn't get that one, but they got the next 3. San Jose, they swept them, and Raegan was key in those victories. She batted .583. She had 2 RBIs. She had 1 run. She had 1 double, and she was walked once. But what's great about Raegan is her consistency. You know, once you start performing at that level and you get used to going 70 miles an hour, the game slows down for you, and she's been steady Eddie all season. So congratulations to Raegan Holtorf once again. And then our offensive player of the week, as we mentioned, she's in our second segment, Trinity Martin. She played 3 years at Virginia Tech. She graduated, was going to be done with softball, and then we'll tell you the rest of the story later. But congratulations to her. She had a magnificent weekend. She batted, it was .667. The biggest part about this was she had 9 RBIs, 6 runs, and she was walked twice, and then she had 4 bombs. So at one point in the series, I believe she came up, she hit a bomb, then she got a single, then she hit a bomb, then she got a single, then she hit a bomb. I don't know if you can tell what the pattern is here. And then she got a single, and then she got a bomb. So 7 at-bats, 4 bombs, 3 singles. So that was a magnificent run. Makes sense if you work that hard for that long, sooner or later, you know, you have a day like this, and that's fantastic. So congratulations to Trinity Martin, our AZ in the Circle's Offensive Player of the Week. And then now we have I'm going to go with a 2-way Player of the Week. She's won every single weekend. She's Texas Tech's KT. She got it done in the Circle. She's a perfect, I believe she's 12-0 in the Circle. She is... She's either 11-0 or 12-0 in the Circle. She pitched on Saturday. She had 6 innings that she pitched, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And at the plate, she batted .500. She had 4 RBIs, 2 runs. She got walked 5 times in one game, and they were playing. They were in their conference, UCF. They beat UCF. They swept them. She actually, in the last game, I think it was Sunday, 4 plate appearances, 4 walks, you know, which actually probably, if I was a coach on the other side, I probably would have walked her 4 times anyway. But, and she also had a sac fly. So KT, once again, 7th week in a row, where she's been our AZ in the Circle Player of the Week. And then our Pitcher of the Week, AZ Circle's Pitcher of the Week, is Alabama's Jocelyn Briski. Once again, Jocelyn, she pitched on a Friday night and she pitched on a Sunday for the Tide, and she won both games. She is a perfect 12-0 in her 12 starts. She pitched 2 complete games. They took on Mizzou. She pitched a great game, complete game on Friday night. 7 innings, and then she did this, and then she did the same on Sunday for the rubber match. So it came down, the series was split, and Alabama's Jocelyn Briski, she ended up pitching 14 innings, 2 complete games. She had 4 earned runs, 4 walks, and 11 Ks. So she's dialed in. Coach Murphy has the tide rolling. So keep an eye on Alabama as they head. We're past halfway through the season, so as they get deep into their conference play, keep an eye on them. One of the best teams in the SEC, right up there with Florida, who had a great weekend, upsetting Tennessee. They got a player from Arizona there, Jocelyn Erickson, and then of course the other great SEC team is Oklahoma. They have a girl there, Gabby Garcia. She's from Arizona. So congratulations to our winners, AZ in the Circles week number 7 players of the week. And then now we'll be right back with Trinity Martin from Grand Canyon University. Okay, we are back with Grand Canyon University's Offensive Player of the Week, AZ Circle's Offensive Player of the Week, Trinity Martin. Trinity, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, congratulations on a great series. The team you swept with San Jose State. My first question really is, what was the approach after the coaches came up with a hitting plan, right? And you scouted all the pitchers. What was the approach you were going to have going into that first at-bat? That ended up being a bomb to start this whole run.
Mm-hmm. Well, my personal approach is always look middle, regardless of what kind of pitcher I'm facing, and that helps me simplify it down. And secondly, talking to Hunter Hayes, we agreed that my approach was going to be more of get the ball in the air up the middle, and that's the only thing I was thinking about going into the box was getting a middle strike, getting the ball in the air to the middle, and it worked out perfectly. You see, I only hit 1 ball, I think, close to center field, but it works for both sides of the field when you're just aiming for the middle.
And then was it the first pitch? Because I didn't see the at-bat per se. Sometimes I go back and look at which pitch was it. Which pitch in the count was it?
My first home run was the first pitch.
Oh, because it was right there.
Yes.
Middle.
Yeah,
I think that's middle. Have you ever pitched before?
Yes.
Yeah, because
when I was younger.
Yeah, so you were ready to go, because if a pitcher knows that if they're not ready, I'm gonna sneak a strike in here, but you already had if she throws it, you were looking middle, and that's where it was. That's awesome. Okay, and then let's go into the second at bat. Same approach, middle. You go up to the plate, and you're looking. Was there ever in that situation, your second at bat, was there a situation? Because sometimes that has a lot to play into. Did you get a green light to swing away, or do they want you to hit? There's runners on second and third. They want you to hit the right side. What was the second at bat like?
The bases were loaded in my second at bat, and of course they're not going to pitch me the exact same. Just hit a home run. So I go to reverse psych with myself. If I hit a fastball over the fence, they're probably throwing me a changeup. And I told Hunter, I said, I'm probably going to change this at bat. He was like, no, maybe not first pitch. But I was like, all right. So we kind of sat back and waited to see what they were throwing. I got, I think, 2 or 3 changeups back to back in that at bat. And that was the little blooper over the shortstop to I just wanted to get it in play.
Yes.
That was all I cared about, was getting it in play and getting runners in. That was all I was worried about.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's situational hitting.
Yes. It wasn't pretty, but it worked.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter if it looks, however it looks, if it's successful,
you get it.
I'd do it again.
Yeah.
I'd take an ugly win over a pretty loss anytime.
Absolutely.
Or you barreled it to a line drive to the center fielder and she caught it on the fence. Well, it's an out. Or I barely dribbled it past the third baseman. Now give me that one.
Yeah.
Give me the base hit. So that's awesome. And then so you're in a groove and you're coming up to your third at bat. What was the plan going in? Middle again, or now what's your reverse psych now that you're?
I was still sitting changeup at this point because I knew that they saw that I wasn't hitting the changeup well, and I spoke with my coaches. In the middle of the game, I'm like, I think I'm out on my front foot. They reassured me, yes, you're right. So I'm like, okay, well this at bat I'll just sit back because they're probably throwing me another changeup, and sure enough they did, and I think I got pretty deep in the count in that at bat. And I had 2 strikes and I was battling off, and I just really sat there and decided I was going to trust my swing and not try and overpower it, and that's when I hit a home run changeup backside.
Wow.
And if you know me, anyone that knows me, I don't hit very many changeups backside, if ever, before I got here.
When you say backside, you're oppo?
Oppo.
Oppo changeup, that's serious power.
Yes. All of my home runs are pull side. Very high.
And you hit an oppo changeup.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was looking at your bio, and last year you had a successful season in Virginia Tech. You had 5 bombs on the season, and in one weekend you hit 4. You're already at 8. You and Jada Cooper are bringing the power.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're like, wow, how'd that happen? Or you just trust in your swing and it's just happening?
I didn't even know until she told me in the dugout Sunday. She was like, hey, you're tied with me in home runs. I was like, really? That's shocking because, you know, she is our power hitter. She does bring the power.
Yep.
And she's just, home runs are just kind of expected from her. So to see everybody with their wheels turning and home runs happen from anybody in this lineup.
Yeah,
I mean, awesome.
I definitely want to talk about your lineup. Next thing I want to ask you though is your journey to Grand Canyon University. I love to know how that happened. So I know that 2 years ago you played them in the regular season, and Grand Canyon early on upset the Hokies. It was an upset. And then I don't know if it was that same season that you played them in the regionals.
Yes,
out of
it
UCLA.
was.
And it was one of the great games that Grand Canyon won. They ended up playing on a Sunday, but because it was so late at night.
It was very late at night.
Yep.
I remember that game so vividly. It was so late. The game before us ran over. We were all tired, and we hadn't even started the game yet. And we were like, oh my goodness, it's 11 p.m. California time, you know.
Yeah.
And we're like,
Oh, you're all
Virginia.
East
We're
Coast.
from Virginia, so
it's 2 a.m.
it's
there.
very, very late in Virginia.
Yeah.
So my mom's texting me. She's like, I'm trying to keep my eyes open. And it was a time for everybody.
So then you thought, the way I, in my own mind, says, well, you know, she couldn't beat him twice. She's like, I'm just going to go join him.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But I love to know the rest of the story. How did you really come to Grand Canyon?
After Jamie reached out to me this summer after I graduated, she was just having casual conversation. You know, we've been friends since we played together.
You were a freshman and she was a
super senior.
She was a super
fifth year.
senior. She's like super awesome senior?
She was a super awesome senior.
Okay.
But we got along really well. She was a great leader for me and for our team, personally and athletically. So, of course, she naturally, you know, built all of us up. She's kind of like a older sister figure to me. So she reached out. That was really like touching when she reached out to me because I hadn't heard from her since she left her GA position at Virginia Tech. I was wondering how she was doing out here anyway. So when she reached out, you know, I was kind of like, you know, how's Arizona? And I'm from Virginia. It's kind of cold, so I knew it was warm out here. And
yeah, because you had come out here and practiced out here one time.
Yes, I came out here and I practiced. I was like, this is beautiful. You know, the weather's awesome. The atmosphere is great. Like, who could say no to this? And then she got to talking about softball, and she was like, are you sure?
Because you were, at that point, you were graduated.
I was done.
You were done.
I moved on to adult life. I'd accepted adult life.
And Coach Jamie Hunter, I don't know if I've accepted adult life, but you know. No, but so Coach Jamie was asking you, hey, you thinking about maybe a little
yeah, you
fire
got
in your
one.
belly
You
still?
got one more year in you. I was like, I don't think so, Jamie. You know, I really don't know, because once you hit that point, I think where you know your worth outside of your sport, it's okay, and letting go. It doesn't mean it's easy, but it does mean it's okay. And I was okay with it.
And then let me guess, did Jamie get the big dog on the line at that point?
She did.
She did.
Called in the big dog, and he talked my ear off
He did.
for probably 30 minutes to 45 minutes one random day in the summer. And it was like I was talking to a friend I had known for like 10 years.
Oh yeah.
It was easy. And this is, I mean, you're talking to a head coach of a big power school, so you don't expect to get on the phone and he just be talking my ear off, and is one of the nicest person. You know, he's asking me about my personal life, like how am I, what's my plans, and then he gets to the softball.
And by that time you're like, I want to play for this guy.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, maybe playing a fourth year wouldn't be a bad idea. You know, I had written it off, but had I written it off out of Arizona? No.
Yeah.
You just take it state by state, I guess.
Yeah.
But
since it was Arizona, you're thinking you kept it open.
yes. I mean, well, I'm thinking I am 21 years old. I graduated in 3 years, and I have the opportunity to move across country for a year.
Yeah, well.
And I'm completely taken care of.
Lope Nation is so excited that you did come here to Arizona.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, good. And then the last thing is, you get here, you hear about Savannah Kirk, you know, she should be an All-American this year, and then she has to go through some adversity. But at what point did you recognize all the talent that was on this team, not only in the circle, but, you know, the big bats? When did it dawn on you? It was like, holy cow, this is going to be magical.
I think a couple practices after Sav got hurt, we were all kind of like, you know, this season it's got to be like a little bit for her, for sure, because nobody wants to see a player go out like that. And for her to go out with, I think she went down in practice giving it her all on a backhand, actually. But that's just, I mean, it's the way that life goes, you know. You have to accept some things that happen for a reason, and I think that this really is going to show the strengths of all of our team. So
how has it been, your teammates? Tell me about your teammates pulling together, filling up that lineup, everyone passing the bat. How has that made you feel as a veteran, seeing doesn't matter what year they're in, they're all contributing?
I think this team is an all-for-one deal. It's like anybody can do anything at any point. It doesn't matter who's up to bat. You know, we have faith in it. Someone miraculously hit the ball over the fence. You know, just like crazy superstitious stuff almost.
Yeah.
We always have a feeling that something's going to happen, and most of the time our girls on the field and off the field, our whole team is just so relaxed, and we are so like confident within our team that it doesn't matter who's stressed out. It doesn't matter if the coaches are stressed out. It doesn't matter if the stands are going crazy, if the fans are going wild, if the other team's getting on us. Say we have 2 runners on with 2 outs. Our team is so level-headed. I've never played with a more level-headed but fire-hearted team at the same time.
That's great.
As we just all have a fire lit under us. That we know how good we can be.
Yeah.
And we know the expectations for this team. So it's our decision to take it to the next level. And I think that's everything that we want for this season.
That's great. Well, Trinity, you guys have a huge game tomorrow night. You're traveling 90 miles down to the old Pueblo to take on one of the top teams in the country. And that experience you guys had against Oklahoma State last week, do you think what you guys learned there is going to help you against another top? I know they're not top 10, but they're 10, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there. You think there's lessons to be learned from that game last week to this game tomorrow?
I think a little bit, but honestly not at the same time. I think we're right where we need to be.
Okay.
I think we're 100% prepared. We were 100% prepared walking into Oklahoma State. Yes,
that game was close.
Yes, and it should have been a lot closer.
Yeah.
So we were 100% prepared walking into it, and I mean, things happen. So sometimes things don't go your way and stuff happens, but it's just how we it's how we bounce back from it. So I know a lot of people think we're playing smaller schools, so we love getting the chance to play Arizona and Oklahoma State because in our eyes we're just level with them.
Absolutely, 100%. I've seen it. Now, you guys have taken down a lot of Power 4 schools already this year. So good luck tomorrow night, and then thank you so much for being on our show. Congratulations on your big award and from AZ in the Circle.
Thank you.
And then continued success into the weekend as well.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah. Welcome back. We are here for our third segment, our mentions, and I'm going to kick it off with a 2028 high school baller. She plays for Arizona Storm captain Mikaela Jackson. She's out of Tucson, Arizona. Her team just went, her high school team just went 6-0 this past weekend. We put up one of her tweets that she showed some of her highlights, and what I liked about it, what got my attention was she was hitting middle, like Trinity was saying, but she also hit backside, which I call oppo power, and then she was also pool side, so she had 5 home runs and she was spraying the ball all over the place. So 2028 out of Tucson, Arizona. Put her on your radar if you're interested in an athlete there. So great job, Mikaela Johnson, putting some great video quality out there. Earlier on in the show, we talked about the state of softball in the 48th state regarding the players that are from and in the 48th state, and I said it's in great shape. We have players making things happen from the Pacific Northwest was Amelia Streuber for Oregon State. She's been a regular starter, getting in the circle, competing for her team, to the leader in Arizona Prep high school history for strikeouts, Kaitlyn from Northern Arizona. She's at CSUN, Cal Northridge University, and she's a freshman there, and she's been getting in the circle as well. Padilla, the senior there at CSUN, she had a walk-off RBI. She went to Queen Creek High School. I think she did it twice this past weekend. And then all the way across to the other side, we'll talk about the flyover states here in a second. In New Jersey, Charleigh Schuettler from Rutgers was taking on UCLA. She threw out a runner not once, but twice. So you run on her and you nail her, and then somebody else says, oh no, I think I can do it. And Charleigh, the freshman catcher, nails her as well. And then if you go down south, you got Jocelyn Erickson playing for Florida, doing big things. I think I didn't follow up to see if she had her 17th home run, but she had her 16th home run this past weekend. She might have got 17, 18, I don't know, but she's doing a great job there. And if you think about it, in the South, Gabby Garcia at Oklahoma is also kicking some butt. And you can go all the way to Maine, and we got a girl, Kennedy Burns, there. I think she's a senior or junior, doing good things there. So all over the country, there are ballers from Arizona representing the 48th state and doing a great job. If you look at the Midwest, we got Lauren Putz at Michigan. We got Danitza Hernandez and Molly Herman down at Miami University, the original Miami University. We also have McKenzie Leitgen up at Iowa as a freshman, got off to a great start her freshman year. And then just this past weekend, Jazmin Ramirez, Utah State. That team's going through some adversity, but she's fighting through it, and she hit a big bomb in a big moment. So congratulations, Jazz. And then you got to think about in the Rocky Mountains, we got Payton Crank and Sion Noli for Utah doing great things there. So if you really sit and think about it, all across the board in the United States, there are Arizona ballers doing great things. And then talk about a territorial cup for the ages. The 3 games that ASU went down to play against U of A, those 3 games, it was like must-see TV. From the first pitch of the game, Kaylee Pond hit a bomb on the first pitch of the game, to the last bomb of the game when you had the All-American Kenzie Brown going against the All-American Sydney Stewart. The count's 2-2. Everyone's thinking, is it going to be a rise ball? Is it going to be a changeup? And it was just like a heavyweight fight, exchanging blow after blow, you know, body punches, and the All-American Sydney Stewart got the better of that at bat. But that was amazing to see. Not only did you have All-Americans going against each other on the field, you had an All-American coach, Coach Bartlett, going against the All-American coach, Kaitlyn Lowe. When they were players, they were both All-Americans. Then you had that game was full of all kinds of emotion. Adams, a pitcher for Arizona, she did a great job Saturday, and then she came back on Sunday and she held those ASU hitters, in check, but at the same time, the Sun Devils fought back hard. They took some body blows. Ashley Mejia, I think it was on Friday night, she got hit by the pitch twice. And that second one, you could see it. There was some sheer emotion. She kind of says some choice words. The ref gets in the way. Everyone's heated. I loved it. I loved the intensity. I loved the emotion. And then the next at bat, Ashbash went yard. And she pointed at her elbow guard, and she left-hand hitter, and she got the last word there. So the whole weekend was phenomenal, and it's a shame someone had to lose, but that was an amazing game, and Arizona fans should be just Arizona, like the 48 state fans, should just be fired up that there's that much good ball happening. And also right here on this field, Grand Canyon, if you think about it, they are 33-1. That's an amazing record. They're a hot team. I hope that they have Grand Canyon University, University of Arizona, and ASU all in different regionals, because these teams can beat anyone on any given day. I mean, and you heard it here first. There could be a possibility that the 3 teams from Arizona make the super regionals. So anyway, I'm Javier with This Week in Softball, brought to you by AZ in the Circle, Arizona Softball Podcast. The last thing I want to leave you with is Jocelyn Briski's team, Alabama. They had this awesome post on March 6th that talked about, it's a play on Teddy Roosevelt's, the president's speech on the man in the arena, and they turned it and says the woman in the arena or the girl in the arena. But I think it's fantastic, and I think it epitomizes what Arizona ballers bring to the game, their grittiness, their toughness, and I love it. There's a line in there that says you gotta do things with great enthusiasms, and you gotta dare greatly, and even though you fail, you just give it your all. And all the credit belongs to these young ladies in the arena. So best of luck to everyone in week number 8. Thank you for watching.
I do whatever I can for my team, and that's the most important thing.
The woman in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the woman who points out how the strong person stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the woman who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds? Who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows, in the end, the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if she fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.